Hey guys, Cameron here again, and today I'm going to do a gear review over the Thermarest Neoair sleeping mat. This is a great pad I picked up for my wife a few weeks ago, and she used on our previous trip to Dinosaur Valley State Park in Glen Rose, Texas. I want to compare this pad to the pad that I've been using for a while now, which is the Sea to Summit ultralight pad. And also the previous pad my wife has. I'd like to show you the size difference and the weight difference in that. So I'm going to go over the specs of this pad and what they claim and what I actually got on mine, and just give you a few opinions about it. Alright, so the first thing I want to talk about is pack size. I like to go ultralight backpacking, so pack space and how much something takes up in my pack is a pretty big deal to me. This measures 8 inches long by 4 inches in diameter, which is extremely small. Compare that to my Sea to Summit ultralight insulated pad, which is also a very small pad. It's way smaller. So this Sea to Summit pad is about 10 inches long. So you're saving a couple inches with going with the Neoair pad. Now let's compare that to the previous pad my wife was using, which is almost amazing. This pad is not that old, and this is how far pad technology has come. So this is the last sleeping pad that my wife was using. It measures about 10.5 inches long by 8 inches in diameter. So as you can see, the pack size of this Thermarest pad is way smaller. It takes up a lot less room in your pack, and it's going to end up being a lot lighter and a lot more comfortable for you. So let's check out the weights and let's see how they compare. Alright, so I'm going to throw the Thermarest on my scale real quick and see what we come up with. This is the Thermarest inside of the stuff sack. I'm getting 12.95 ounces. On the Thermarest website, they're claiming 12 ounces for this pad, so that's pretty close, including the stuff sack. So let's take it out of the stuff sack real quick and see what we come up with. Alright, so I've got the pad out of the stuff sack, and let's put it on the scale and see how much it weighs by itself. 12.5 ounces. This is the regular size, which would be considered a medium. So this is what your average person is going to use. They also have a small size, which is shorter in length, and they have a large side, which is wider and also longer. So for the medium, regular size, 12.5 ounces, which is extremely light. Alright, let's talk about how you know which size is right for you. For me personally, I am 6 foot tall, about 185 to 90 pounds, and this regular size would fit me great. It's 6 foot long, so I'll fit exactly on it, and it's 20 inches wide, which is a little bit narrow, but I'm a side sleeper, so I take up a little less space that way. They have the large size, so if you're any bigger than I am, any taller than 6 foot, or say probably a little over 200 pounds, you may want to go with the large size, which is 25 inches wide, is a little bit wider than this, and then it's also longer. If you're a lot smaller, or if you just need a pad that comes down to your knee or so, you can go with the small size. I've tried that before, and I didn't like the way my legs hung off. The backpack I use doesn't have any padding in it or anything, so I can't throw that under my feet like some people do. So a small doesn't work for me, but the regular size works out just fine, and let's blow it up and see how I fit on it. So before I start blowing this up, let's check out, this is the valve for the Neoair. As opposed to the Sea to Summit, which if you check out my video review of it, it has a two-way valve. It has one that you open up to blow in and it won't let air out, and then it has a big dump valve that you can open up and all the air will rush out. Well, this Neoair valve system is not near as good as the Sea to Summit, in my opinion. The Sea to Summit is just so much quicker. This valve is standard, pretty much looks like anything they've been using on all their Thermarest pads for years. It's just a valve that you screw open, you blow in, air can still come out, or you close it up to keep the air in, and whenever you go to let the air out, you unscrew it again, and you start rolling your pad up, and that forces the air out. So now I'm going to unroll this and start blowing it up. Open the valve, and it's going to take several breaths and quite a while, but once this thing gets blown up, you'll see the benefits of this pad and just how great it is. Alright, so I got the pad blown up. It took me about 12 full breaths, which is quite a while, and I feel like I have pretty good lung capacity, so I don't really have anything to compare that to. But it took me 12 full breaths. I would say it took me a minute or two to blow it up. I got a little lightheaded toward the end. You obviously don't have to blow it up that fast, but just keep that in mind that it does take a little bit to blow up. And the reason that is because this is 2.5 inches thick. This is a really thick pad. And so you're not going to feel the ground under you. Think about the more work you put in now, the more comfortable night's sleep you're going to have. So I'm going to back the camera up and I'll lay down and show you how I fit on this pad. Alright, so as I said before, I am exactly 6 foot tall. So my feet are at the very bottom right now, and I still have at least an inch, maybe 2 inches above my head. So I have a little room to play where I can move up or down and still fit completely on this pad. Now, it's only 20 inches wide, so with my body size, I don't really have enough room to lay my arms in them, stay up here comfortably. So what I'd either do is cross them over myself, or if it's warmer outside, you'd be able to lay your arms off to the side. But I'm typically a side sleeper, so I would sleep like this, and I fit perfectly on the pad on my side. So like my knee is all the way to the edge on this side, my back is about an inch from the edge on this side, and I would be able to lay like this and be completely on the pad and completely comfortable. Alright, so as you'll notice, as I tossed and turned a little bit in that last video, the material of this pad does make a little bit of noise. You can hear it crinkle just a little bit. Trust me, this is so much quieter than the last Thermarest Neoair. The material that was inside made a really loud crinkling noise, and every time you turned over, you would wake yourself or your partner up. I had one of the previous versions, and that is the main reason I got rid of it, is I didn't like that noise. This one is a lot quieter. It still makes a little bit of noise, but that's just one of the trade-offs for such a thin, lightweight fabric. It's not too bad. It definitely doesn't bother me, but I do toss and turn quite a bit at night, and so it does make a little bit of noise. That's something to be aware of. So one of the main attractions of this pad to me is the thickness. If you can see how thick that is, that's about 2.5 to 3 inches thick, which is amazing for a sleeping pad. Big Agnes has some pads that are a lot thicker than this, but they take forever to blow up. I had one for about a week and realized that after hiking, blowing it up was such a chore that just wasn't worth it. And so I got rid of it and I went to my Sea to Summit pad. Now my Sea to Summit pad blows up really quickly, but it's definitely not as thick as this, and that's the first thing I noticed when my wife and I went backpacking together and I had the two pads side by side, is hers was so much thicker than mine, and it looks so much more comfortable. It is almost amazing. So this Thermarest Neoair is very thick and very comfortable. You are not going to touch the ground through this pad. Well guys, that was the Thermarest Neoair Xlite pad. 12.5 ounces, a little under 13 with the stuff sack. 8 inches long by 4 inches in diameter. It's a great pad. You know, it doesn't matter if you're a thru hiker or a wannabe thru hiker or a weekend warrior like myself. It's a great pad if you're looking to cut weight and also increase your comfort. I'd say this pad is good down to about 20 degrees, depending on your personal preferences. You may could stretch it a little farther. It may not go down to 20 for you. But that's about the safe range, I would say. And that's about as cold as I'm going to be camping in. So it's a great 3-season pad, especially if you live anywhere in the south. So yeah, this is a great pad. $130 or somewhere about there at REI or pretty much anywhere else. If you get the large size, it's a little bit more. But thanks for watching. And subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I really appreciate the views. And give it a thumbs up if you like this review. Thanks a lot, guys. We'll see you down the trail.